One of the best ways to make a crazy amount of money with crypto over the next few months is trading automatically. And first things first, Bitcoin, the S&P 500, really, if you'd ever just bought any of these assets, you'd be up right now. You'd be up a ton of money, depending of course on how much you put in, but they're practically both at an all-time high as it currently stands. So really the problem lies in how do you effectively make use of every single time the price of this asset, of Bitcoin, or really almost any other top tier crypto or the S&P, how do you make the most use out of every single time one of these prices goes down? Because you know already that if you hold long enough, you'll end up making a ton of money because the history has showcased that these assets will keep going up, keep going up, keep going up. So could be as easy as you just buy and wait, which is what I do for many of my trades, and I've already made millions of dollars this way. It's not that hard. But what if I were to tell you there is another way, which is way more effective? Because the negative side with the buy and hold method is that sometimes, specifically when you get to the larger account sizes, your float, right, your current P&L might be down significantly and you don't like looking at it that way. Or more importantly, if the price goes against you for a while, well, you don't really benefit from all this downside, all this downtime. So even though you know that over time it will be up, you'll make a ton of money, on the shorter term, it's not really doing much for you. And there are some manual ways, like for example, putting a lot of orders in, to which you can take a lot of advantage of this. I do this also. You can see here I've got a ton of orders if the XRP price were to go down further. But there's an easier method, which is through bots. Automated all the way through. All you gotta do is insert the exact settings you want. And given enough time, this will beat out longs almost every single time. Because every single time the price goes against you, the bot will automatically buy more of a position, and if it goes up tiny bits, it'll sell, meaning that even in your downtime, even in all this waiting time, you'll still be grinding out profits every single day. Anyway, I've got a ton of bots open for all these different currencies. Let me just give you a few examples. For example, my XRP main bot. So what does this bot do? If we open it up, one thing that becomes quite apparent is that all this thing does is buy every single time the XRP price goes down a little bit. Here, if it's down 0.19%, it buys. If it's down 0.41%, it buys, and so forth and so on. And on the opposite side, if the price goes up, it starts to sell a little bit. Why is this good? Well, because I don't do nothing. All right, it's automatically just making me profits every single day. Matter of fact, since I opened this up 60 days ago, I put $50,000 in. It's already made me nearly $9,000 on autopilot. Again, I have not done anything to this. I've just been waiting. I had $50,000 laying around, let's just call it, put it into the bot, waited, and it's already returned me $9,000 on autopilot. And the nice thing is, there's two parts to this. One is where does your position go, right? I just, in this case here, opened a $250,000 bot because I used 5 times leverage, and that's basically a $250,000 trade, right? Well, that trade is about $10,000 in the profit right now. So that is, of course, this unrealized profit part. But the best part is that this good profits here is just what it was able to buy and sell, buy and sell, buy and sell throughout time. It's already been doing that 6,000 times throughout the last 2 months. Now, if this is something you're interested in, just check out the links down below, as the exchange I'm doing this all on is called Pionex. It's the first link in the description down below. It's got no KYC requirement, meaning you can just upload your ID and whatever if you want to, but you do not have to. You can use this from any country in the world. All you gotta do is maybe use a VPN if you're in some countries that have very strict rules. Even I right now in America can use it just fine, but I'm always using a VPN. But make sure you use this first link to sign up. Why? Well, you get the best bonuses that way. If you click the second link, you also find that if you do KYC 2, you get $50 for absolutely free. But also, if you deposit $5,000 or more, you get yourself an $800 reward that you can trade with, use these bots on, whatever. And the nicest thing is, if you think about it, $5,000 just by depositing that, you get $800 for absolutely free. That's a pretty good return just instantly, like 15% or so on your money instantly just by joining. And I say to some people as well, even if you find out you don't like the platform, it might be worth it to just make a few trades, flip this money into real money because this is a bonus you get, and just take it all off if you don't like it. If it's not working for you, screw it, go away again. But at least make sure you get your free money. Now, I'll show you some more though, because I also want to explain every single side so you don't get lost. If we take a look at this, I've got an XLM bot here, for example. You might look at this and think, Dusty, but this is just like your blowfin positions. You know, it's down tremendously. What's going on? Well, this is where the bot becomes so beautiful. This XLM bot, what I basically did at the end of the day is I bought $50,000 worth of XLM. I put a $10,000 trade with 5x leverage, $50,000. But instead of buying the full thing all at once, it bought a good chunk of it, but then kept some money on the side to buy dips and trade for profits. Now, you might think, it's been open for almost 60 days. It's only made me 3%. Well, that's because every single time the bot goes down tremendously, I actually press this button here and I add some investment. Why? It's just in case it goes down so much, just like with some of these major trades, I want to DCA. I want to get an even bigger position in the bot. That's what I've been doing. That's why this percentage has gone down. But you should understand it like this. Over time, the reason I have multiple different bots is because they will all make different percentages. 𝗕𝗪𝗀𝗃, for example, has been extremely volatile, and that's what you want. Every single time the price goes up or down or up or down, this bot is buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling, making us a ton of money. Take a look at the chart, right? You can see throughout the history of me having this bot open, it's for most of this journey been at a loss. But that is nice because that means every single time it goes back to the same price, it goes back up, it's cashing out these grid profits. Fun fact, about a week ago or so, I added another $1,500 to this. I put $1,500 in and it made me like $400 in a month, just because 𝗕𝗪𝗀𝗃 was moving that much. So again, we look through 𝗕𝗂 here, $2,500 times 3, so $7,500 trade. $200 profit in the last 2 months or so. Again, on $2,500, 8% return here in 2 months. I think it's really freaking good because that's, again, just for waiting. The real profit comes when the price of 𝗕𝗂 goes up. But right now, I'll show you a better example here, right? Let me just quickly scroll through. Here, we have a good example. So Solana bot, I put $3,000 in, but you can see, why is the total profit so high? Well, if we take a look at the Solana price, it's only gone from $149 to $151. So really, it's only up like a very, very little amount. But the cool part is, because throughout the last 70 days or so, it's been buying, selling, buying, selling, buying, selling, it's actually able to cash out 8% already, leading to me being in a ton of total profit. If I just opened this Solana trade, $3,000 at 3x, right, a $9,000 trade, we would have never nearly been at this same amount of money. Because even now, if the Solana price goes below where we entered at 149, even if it goes to 147, fun fact, we'd still be in profit because, well, like I just told you, it just keeps buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling over time, right? And the nice part is, if eventually Solana goes for a crazy run, what the nice part is, let me just quickly show you another one. This Bitcoin bot, for example, eventually it's going to be really, really hard because of all the profits it was able to cash out for you, even if a dip comes, for it to be at a loss. The same thing here is with XRP. You can see we had ourselves a juicy dip right there. You might think, oh, that's awful, right? No, because you can see the number right there. It says 43 transactions. It bought so much and sold so much on the way back up right there. It was trading so much, making us a ton of money because the price all of a sudden went from plus 50% to minus 10%. So a massive move down for XRP. But then the moment it got back up, we are again in even more profit. You can see in the last 2.5 months, we were able to make 21% returns besides the 20% that the XRP price is up. Obviously, you can see the price is only up like, what, 10% or so? But even though we made 20% on that, but still, this is one of the best strategies I have ever found. You see, SUI is down, our trade is down 16% because we bought in at 366. It's right now 292. But because we've been cashing out so much from the bot running, our actual P&L is only down like 6%. So given a little bit more time, if SUI now goes back to 366, we are up a lot, even though we are, again, just back at the entry. So this is just something that's one of the best strategies, in my opinion, for if you're not sure what the market's going to do next. And there's another few cool things. For example, I've got this $10K to $1 million challenge here. This is at a massive loss right now, I know, but I told you over a period of 2 or 3 years, I personally think the $10,000 I inserted into this will turn into probably $1 million, maybe more. It is risky in some ways, but for the most part, I can manage it. And all I got to do is every single time we get to about a 10% profit in the grids, or potentially just overall 10% profit or so, I just press compound, right? And if I keep compounding over time, this will do some crazy numbers. I could, for example, also compound things like the 𝗕𝗪𝗀𝗃𝗃 bot here, where I just take all the money that it's up right now. It will be about 30%, and I reinvest it into the bot, because that way you can grow your account size by tremendous amounts. But at that point, you also have to pay a bit more attention to your liquidation price. I've explained that in multiple of my videos. But think virtuals, for example. I've got a virtuals trade open over on 𝗕𝗁𝗲𝗃 here as well. You can see I've got a 10x virtual trade open right now. This is $7,000 at a loss. The stupid part, the crazy part here, this has been open for so long, it's not made me any money. While at the same time, I just opened this one recently. Right? The loss may be similar, but at least this one has already made me 12% in the last 60 days for just holding and waiting. You want to know the most beautiful part on top of that? Because I'm longing virtual, which mostly has been going down, I'm actually also making money on funding, but it's not a juicy amount right now. It's not that crazy. But the fact that me just having this position on 𝗫𝗀 has been such a waste. If I had only opened this in the form of a bot, the amount of money I would have made would be way crazier. And since I realized that, I'll say the pros and cons quickly. Since I realized this, I don't really like opening normal trades as much. I do them because if you are right, you make way more money. On a full long, you make more money. Why? Because with the bots, what they do is they don't buy your full position all at once. Taking a look at this, $50,000 I put in times 5, right? 5 times leverage. When you look at this, it's only got a 68,000 XRP long right now. That is only what? Let's say $130,000, maybe a little bit more, but you get it. Let's say $160,000. Whereas a normal 50,000 times 5 would be $250,000. So because it's a strategy of buying and selling, it opens a position with less, so it can keep money on the side to buy and sell. So the same on a platform like 𝗫𝗀 would make more money if the price instantly goes up, because it just buys more at once. Now you can counter that by just inserting more into the bot, obviously, or using a bit of a higher leverage because you know it's going to buy a little bit less. But the big pro is, in case you are wrong, which most people are most of the time, in case the price doesn't go exactly your way, or if it does, it goes up, but you're not willing to sell, and then it starts doing this. So again, you might never be at a loss again. Maybe you were right. The price from XRP goes from $2 to $4. You've doubled your money. Things are amazing. And all of a sudden, it starts doing this, that, up, and down. Maybe over time, over a few week period, if you were not going to sell anyway, you actually make more money on the bot because it keeps buying and selling automatically over time. So it turns more into like a passive income machine based on the volatility, rather than just your one trade being successful or not successful. And so really, when you start seeing it like this, the fact that I kind of see it as a volatility bot, it's making money as the price moves up and down and up and down. I now see every single dip we have as an opportunity, as something beautiful, because I know my bots will be buying that dip, and the moment we ever go back up, we'll make money on it. Some of these bots I've got have been running for a few years. The ones you're seeing right here, I've all opened publicly over the last few months, and I aim to keep it that way. Just every single one of these I've opened in a video, talked about. Anybody could have copied along, because every single time I open a new one, I put them all in the description down below, right? All my bots are down there. You can join every single one of them with just a simple click of a button. Really, it's just as simple. You can just press copy the bot. It's as simple as that. You don't have to though. I've also got a ton of videos explaining in detail how to open them up. I also put a 50-minute tutorial on exactly all the bot settings or whatever in the description down below, so you can check that one out for yourself. I've also got a video where I opened this 250,000 XRP and $250,000 Bitcoin bot. I'll leave both of those down below as well, so you can again see in detail how I open them up. It's just I go to futures right here, future bot, future grid, and then insert all my settings. If you want these settings, again, just check one of those videos out, or just copy one of my bots down below and then just copy the settings over. You can also see all the settings just by looking at your screen right here. It's not that hard. I'll go to parameters right here. If you want to copy something, go ahead and do it. Again, maybe, just maybe, this does not look that beautiful on the short term, but I'm just putting it out again. I know that most people will only join me when my bots are in a crazy amount of profit. All right, and soon you'll see. Right now, it's only up a few tens of thousands. Soon it will be up a few hundreds of thousands, and then maybe a year from now, we'll be up a few $1 million on this. The fun fact is, most people will only join once they've seen the results, but I keep saying in these videos, you should always get into it when things are quite negative, in the red, because that's when you get a bit of an edge even over me. If you get into the 10K XRP challenge right now, even though we already were able to compound roughly 50% on our investment. We actually, as of this point, are a bit down. So if you're starting it right now, you may even get a better position than even me. So maybe you're going to beat me over time by doing the exact same thing. And the same thing goes for XLM. Yes, we were able to grind out some grids, but we're down tremendously. You getting a lower starting price can definitely be pretty juicy. And again, you won't win for every single one of these, but does it really matter? And again, you can do this for any altcoin, really. The only thing you have to understand is that you want these to either be volatile, meaning up and down, up and down, up and down, or up, or you want them to eventually go up, meaning you don't want an asset that's doomed to go to zero, because if it's just like this, the price, whenever you enter and it goes like this down, it will keep buying, trying to sell. But if there's no volatility, if there's nobody on the buying side, your bot is not going to do that well. You want the bot to be able to buy and sell, buy and sell. And for that, it needs to have some sort of chart, right? It can't just be only downwards, because at that point, but whatever. What coin does that, right? If your coin goes to zero like Luna and stuff, you're just unlucky. But that's why you diversify into many different things. Bitcoin, XRP, ETH, 𝗕𝗓, all these ones I've got, I don't think are ever going to zero, or at least not soon. I think I'll make a ton of money on every single one of these, which is why I keep them open. And then sometimes I open a meme here and there because, they're the season for it, and you can make a ton of money on it on the short term. But this is by far the best strategy I've ever found. And I recommend, if you're going to do it as well, all right, just make sure you get a good spreadsheet going where every single bot, every single setting you've got, you place it all in a good spreadsheet so you can keep looking at it over time and see the results shine, again, over time. Because the beauty in this comes over time, not a day, not a week, right? And I've seen my best friend, I speak to him every single day, turn $4,000 into 1 point something million, 1 point something. Right now, it's down. He took $270,000 out, and there's only $1 million in the account left, I think, something like that. Anyway, the ID still counts. I saw it with my own eyes. Every single trade has been logged, and I know my account will do the same thing over time. And you know what? That's about it for this little video. If you want to join as well, of course, not financial advice, but every single thing is quite transparent. The bot, all the settings, you can see them all for yourself. You can do every single part here manually too, by the way. If you don't like bots, you don't like automated things, you can do this on your own, but on average, my bots do a few thousand trades a day. It's just a lot of work. But if you like scripts more, maybe write a script on your own. Just look at what the bot is doing and then use a platform that you like, right? It's all good. I'm just saying this thought process, whatever's going into these bots, is just the most profitable method of trading crypto right now as we stand. And it's just very, very underrated because with most people, what next them is their emotional tolerance. They just can't trade because their emotions get in the way. But the bot takes that part away. Everybody's a good trader until they start messing with their brain, right? Until they start messing their emotions. Since a bot does it automatically, your emotions don't really play a role. That's how you win. That's how you stay successful. That's how you stay profitable. And that's about it.